Literature gives us the opportunity to experience lives, perspectives, and worlds different from our own. Though remember, friend, a good story has many readings, and this is but one. Imagine, if you will, a famous author in Victorian London with a good series of successful books, but whose latest work was kind of a flop. His publisher tells him, if the next one doesn't take the egg, we're cutting your salary. Now he's only got one shot, one opportunity to write a surefire hit, or his money problems are only going to get worse. Well, what Charles Dickens did was take advantage of a current in-vogue holiday and wrote his classic novella, A Christmas Carol. But who here's ever actually read that original story? Yeah, that checks out. Looks like we got a holiday episode on our hands. Even so, I'm still willing to bet that it includes a miser named Scrooge who gets visited by a bunch of ghosts who scare the dickens out of him. How the way many people celebrate Christmas to this day is directly influenced by the success of A Christmas Carol. It was 1843, and for a decade, Charles Dickens had been the literary toast of London, but his latest work, Martin Chuzzlewit, was a flop. When Chuzzlewit's sales underperformed, his publishers, the Scrooges that they were, told Dickens that if his next novel didn't knock it out of the park, they'd reduce his monthly income by £50. And Dickens knew what it was like to live in poverty. Dickens found inspiration for his next story while walking the streets of London, and wanting to find a way to draw attention to their plight, he had an epiphany. So Dickens got to work, and in only 6 weeks wrote A Christmas Carol, which begins with Ebenezer Scrooge, the very model of an uncaring London money counter. Then, as he's getting ready for bed that night, he's visited by the ghost of his former business partner Jacob Marley, covered in chains. Then, true to Marley's word, the first ghost promptly appears, identifying themselves as the ghost of Christmas past. But then he's immediately visited by the ghost of Christmas present. Then finally Scrooge is visited by the ghost of Christmas yet to come, a terrifying spirit whose visions he shows Scrooge shake him to his core. Snap back to reality, Scrooge wakes up on Christmas morning, a changed man. Our reformed hero lives to break the chains of greed and selfishness, win the love and respect of his community, and keep the generous Christmas spirit in his heart every day from that day on. When Dickens published this novella, it was an immediate hit, but more importantly, word got around London that people who read A Christmas Carol were inspired to give generously to the poor. And though he didn't live to see it, the enduring popularity of A Christmas Carol cemented many of the Victorian Christmas traditions in the English-speaking world from that time forth, including the new tradition of helping the less fortunate at Christmas time. He also helped give rise to the popularity of the phrase Merry Christmas, as well as the phrase Bah Humbug. In fact, Dickens's story has itself become a ubiquitous part of the Christmas season. So from all of us at the coffee shop, we hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and we wish you and yours all the love and joy you can imagine.